Hello. I'm going to be talking about the Washoe County School District K through 2 distance learning packet for the first week. When you see your packet, you're going to be noticing a opening letter in English and Spanish. The next page is going to be a letter from our interim superintendent in English and Spanish. When you open your packet, you will see the directions in English, but on page 14, they will start in Spanish. Now, when you open your packet, you will see the dates set here. That's different from the last packet. The beginning will start with an SEL optimistic opener. As you notice, there are 5 bullets and there are 5 days. So you could do one per day. It doesn't matter where you start or which one goes first, as long as you're doing one per day. Same with the SEL brain break. This is just if your child is working really hard and needs a break and to get back and be focused again, you can do a brain break. Again, there are one bullet for each day. Okay. If we go to the literacy part here, you can read a fiction or nonfiction book. You can read it from books that you have at home. You can find them online. Washoe County Library app, Libby, has books on there. Epic, your teacher gave you a benchmark shared reading book that's read. That has reading material in it that you can annotate. If your teacher has given you a clever login, there are books that you can read on there, or you could just read any newspaper or magazines. Doesn't matter. The reading log will be on page 24 to record those. Okay. So if you go to the literacy writing standards here, you are only going to be doing a graphic organizer for this week. You are going to be reading a science article for K through 2. It is What is Gravity? That's going to be your article that we're going to be reading this week. And we are going to be writing in an informational essay organizer this week. So if we look at the instructions, number 1 says read the article on page 26 through 28. Number 2 is going to be reading the article a second time and using annotations which are below. So let me show you what the article looks like on page 26. The article looks like this. And then you're going to be reading it one time and then using the annotation for the second time. So let's go back. So on number 3, it says number 2, it says read the article a second time and annotate. If you look on this page, the next page, you will see this one highlighted. This is the annotation that K through first grade will use, and this is the second grade. So if we look at here, there's little boxes that will tell us what to do. So this is how we annotate in kindergarten. For the first box right here, you're going to need to do this. You're going to number the events that happen. Those are going to be you need to annotate 3 facts in this article. So those will be the 3 facts that you're going to annotate. As you read the What is Gravity article, you're going to circle and put the number 1 on the first fact. Number 2 will have a circle, and number 3 will have a circle. So three facts. In the article as well, you are going to put a happy face by the things that excite you or excite your child, and underline words that you do or do not know that you might need clarification on. And then the star by things that are important. And you might want to circle words that they know. Okay. So you are to read that to them, and they are going to go through and pick out the parts in the book that you're going to annotate on. That's number 2. Number 3, you're going to answer the questions in the article. So if we go back to page 26 and 27, you'll see there's questions here that you're going to have to answer. Okay, so you'll read it and your child will circle the right answer. Okay. Now you notice though, as we're going through, there are five. 1, 2, 3. This is supposed to be a 4 and 5. There are 5 things. So you can do one each day if you want. So then the next one, you're going to tell someone what the article is about. So your child is going to pick those 3 facts that they circled when they annotated, and they're going to tell somebody those 3 facts. The it's supposed to be number 5, is going to be filling out a graphic organizer. That is going to be before the articles begin on page 25. Okay. Informational essay, the topic is gravity. They're going to draw a picture of it. They're going to quick sketch 3 pictures of their 3 facts. Okay. They're going to write a short word about each picture here. Okay. It doesn't need to be a whole sentence. It could just be a quick word. Okay. Encourage them to write them on their own, because what we want them to be writing as much as they can because of what they're missing in school. Okay. So that is for the writing standards for this week. Okay. You're going to need all of that for next week. So make sure you keep a hold of that. Okay. Literacy foundation skills. There are 2 games that you can play. The first game is change a word. Also, we call it AKA word magic, where you are going to write a 3-letter word that's simple. Okay. Like bat. Your child is going to change the vowel in the middle and make it a different word. Okay. You're going to do that for 10 words. So you might want to do cap to cup, and pig to peg, hat to hut. Okay, things like that. So you write the word, they change the vowel and write the new word. Okay, and again, encourage them to be writing those words and reading them. Okay, so that's one game. Brainstorm race is you're going to pick a category like animals, and they have 10 minutes to write as many things that go into that category. Okay, it says pick 2 to 3 categories, but you can do 1 per day. Okay. They give you some examples: animals, food, shapes, things you could play outside, things that you take to the beach, things like that. Okay. So you could do that for 10 minutes. Have you pick the topic and write it down, and they will write these. They'll think of them and write them. Okay. Again, encourage them to write as much as they can. Oh, sorry. Okay. The next page. This is math. Okay. This is a little bit different from what we're used to. Starting from that last week, there was a show what you know page. There was one for every day. This week we're going to be doing a math tac-toe. Okay. Which I'll show you on page 33. It will start there. But every time you play a game or an activity or a word problem, you are going to be crossing that off. Okay. And the goal is to have 4 in a row: vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. Okay. A challenge, which I recommend, is to try to get a blackout. That means to do all of them. Okay. Now let's start. Let me show you page 33, what I'm talking about. This is what the game board looks like. Okay. It starts with the show what you know pages. You notice that there's 1 for every day. I put a line here because you might be doing 2 games on 1 day. So you can write the title of the 2 games that you're playing, or 2 activities or whatever, and draw a little quick sketch of what they did here, and then have them write a little brief sentence about what they did. Okay. Now you notice that there's the board here. Now there's 1 on every page, and I just think it's a little bit cumbersome if you have to mark them on every page. So I just use 1 for the game board. Okay. So if you play a game one day, you're going to cross that off. And if you play a problem of the week, you're going to cross that off, and so on. Okay. And then you'll have Connect 4. Or if you do the blackout, it's just easier to keep track on 1 game board. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the games. All right, so this is the game of the week. So in your tic-tac-toe board, there was a little box that said game of the week. There's 4 of them, okay? 4 boxes. There's 3 games, okay? So you're going to play another game another time, an extra time, okay? 4 in a row will be linked below, okay, in the little comment section or whatever this is on YouTube. And then rolling for 50 is pretty self-explanatory. You did that last week, both of these. Addition War is new. It says for Kinder to use aces as ones and then number cards 2 through 5. I recommend going all the way to 10. And what you're going to be doing is collecting all the aces, 2s, 3s, 4, 5, all the way to 10, shuffling them up, making 2 piles. This is going to be your pile and this is going to be your child's pile. You're going to pull over 1 card. They're going to pull over 1 card. And then they're supposed to add them together. Okay. You could do it that way. Or you could take 2 cards from your pile and 2 cards from your pile and add them together and see which one is the winner. Okay. Either way of the game is fine. If they're having a hard time solving them, tell them to use their fingers. Give them 10 seconds before you give them the answer. Okay. That's going to be there. So like I said, you could play it where you just have 2 decks and they add them together, kind of like Salute, or you can have a deck and they can have a deck, and then you guys turn over the 2 cards and solve them, and whoever has the highest will win that round. Okay. Either one is fine. Either variation. When you do these games, if you go on page 33 again, you're going to record it, okay, and cross it out. See how there's games in different parts, okay? So you're going to cross it out. If you go to Let's Move, that's a new one, okay? This is a new game. It's basically what you're doing is showing the answer with your body. So if the problem was 10 take away 5, you're going to solve it by using 4 feet and 1 hand. So that will equal 5, because 10 take away 5 is 5. So my example right here, see how the child used 2 feet and then the parent used 2 feet and then she used 1 hand. That's 5. Okay, so 10 take away 5 equals 5. All right. Now there's only one problem here. And there's 4 boxes in your tic-tac-teen on page 33. Okay, so you would have to roll the dice and figure those problems out, or you could do subtraction and write it down. Okay, but there has to be four done if you're playing blackout. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, and then of course you show what you know here. Okay, on the next day if you want, if you're doing it the next day. All right. Let's go to problems of the week. They are word problems. Okay, so you can take what you want, an extra piece of paper here or on the show what you know portion, and and solve and show how you solved the problems. Okay, there are only 2 problems. There are only 2 problems on the page, and there are 4 boxes in the tic-tac-teen if you're playing blackout. So you're going to have to come up with 2 word problems on your own to contribute to blackout if you're playing that. Okay. Now, which one does not belong is new as well. That's going to be on page 46. And basically, you're going to look at 4 sets of pictures, and you're going to figure out which one doesn't belong. Under the pictures, there's going to be lines and letters that match the letters in the pictures. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I go to page 46, this is what does not belong. Okay. Now there are 4 portions in the math tic-tac-toe part on page 33, and there's 4 of these. Okay. So you're essentially, when you do one, you're going to cross it off on the math tic-tac-toe. Okay. Okay. Now, if you notice, all of these equal 10. Okay. What your job is for your child is to give a reason why A does not belong with the other 3. Okay, like for example, this is a number line and none of these are number lines. B does not belong because maybe it has 3 addends and the rest do not have 3 addends. Things like that. Even though they equal the same number, they have to give you a reason of why that one does not belong, okay? This can all be on one page of Show What You Know, on page 33 or whatever day you decide to do it, okay? But like I said, there were 4. There's an A, B, C, D, and here there's one here that could be A, B, C, and D, okay? All right. So let's go back to the math. Okay, so that's all the math part. Okay, this does not count because it's 2nd grade. An extension is if you have more time, go to this website and there's an activity for the day. Okay, to get more math practice in. All right, science. Okay, in this week we're learning about forces in motion. So they're going to be taking a ball, probably outside, not so much inside, and they're going to be kicking it or throwing it, and they're going to see why the ball goes farther when they kick it more, or kick it harder, things like that. Okay, so these are the questions that you're going to propose to them, and they will need to answer them. Okay, now for my daughter, I made a separate journal for her because she needs more space to write. I recommend doing that too. You can have that verbal conversation, but if you want to keep them up with their writing skills, I suggest that you make a journal and have them write in it, okay, as much as they can. So this would be a question. I can make the ball go farther by, that's probably this bullet, so that'd be the first question. What happens when I roll it on different surfaces would be this question. And then what happens when the ball collides with different things? That would be this question. Okay, so you can have one day of science, or you can break it up into three different days or 4 different days. Okay. All right. Social studies is leadership this week. So they're going to be drawing a picture of a time when they were a leader. And however, before that, you're going to be discussing what a leader is and describe a time when they were a leader. What does a leader in your community do, or describe a leader, and they're going to be answering them in here. Okay. Now I know this isn't enough space. So again, if you want to use a journal, a separate page for that, then you can definitely do that. Okay. All right. And this is the end of the first week. So they're going to be closing with a SEL reflective closer. A cool down for your brain. You could choose one each day. There's 5, and there's 5 days in a week. So you're going to choose which one to close down with. Okay. Music. There's instructions on page 117 for what you're going to do. This is a little bit different from the previous weeks, but if I go to page 117, oops, it's way in the back. Okay, it's going to be Connect 4. Okay, so there are 16 boxes. There's 5 days in a week. So there's going to be 1 extra day you're going to be doing this on. Okay, or 1 extra game you're going to be doing 1 extra day you're going to be doing 2 games. I'm sorry. Okay, so I recommend doing 1 a day until you get 4 in a row, or you can do blackout just like math tic-tac-toe and do 1 a day. Okay. To add on to that, Mr. Benson has his YouTube channel where he is currently doing lessons kindergarten through 5th grade. So that is really cool. I'll link that below, but I just wrote down the website or the YouTube channel for myself so I can remember, but I will link that down below as well. So you'll see math games down below, and you will see or links for that, and then Mr. Benson's music channel. Okay. Here's some additional resources. Okay. And if we go through again on page 14, there's the Spanish instructions. Okay. And it will start off with the science, or with the informational essay and your little part where you're reading journal or your reading log. And then it will go into the math, show what you know, the instructions. That's going to be linked below if you need some help with that one, with directions to there. One thing I do want to say is that since we did this last week, if you did this last week with your child, I would suggest doing this one this week. Okay, rolling for 50. There's rolling for 20. On this side, the instructions are pretty self-explanatory. Okay. This one's kind of fun because you get every dice will be a different action. Every dice roll will be a different action. And then that's that. And it ends up with which one doesn't belong. Okay. So if you have any questions on any of this part in this week 1 of the second packet of the distance learning for Washoe County School District, please ask your teacher. They have looked through this packet and are really knowledgeable about it as well. Okay, I will be back doing the second week instructions next week, or second week instructions next week. Okay, have a great day. Bye.